Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. We open over 80,000 years ago when three evolutions of man walked the earth. A Neanderthal named Amoukar is shown using fire to keep warm, feed himself and even scare away the wolves. The Ulam people sleep in a communal cave until the sun rises and the other warriors join Amy for a perimeter check. They're yet to discover how to plow a fire, so they've had to come upon a source naturally or just steal it from a neighbor. A firekeeper has the job of protecting an eternally lit flame inside a bone receptacle, and this guy's a bit strange even for these people. There's little time for romance in the Stone Age as one young man shows us the extent of his foreplay on what I assume's a woman. Just then a party of ape-looking Homo erectus come wandering along and begin to surround the fornicating fleshies. Dozens of aggressive big feet launch a full-blown invasion of the Neanderthal settlement and bombard it with boulders from above. Harry Erectus makes it inside the cave with the main goal of stealing the precious fire and the side mission of dragging away a few bare-bottom women. Distinguishing himself from the rest of these flea bags is a warrior named Naoh, who gets his name from knowing how to use the pointy end of a stick. Technically he only gets lucky because Sasquatch stands on some burning coals, but he kills a few nonetheless before the Ulams are forced to flee. Sassies immediately take over the abandoned home while many of the cavemen are torn apart by wolves before they've even cleared the forest. On an island in a misty bog, their source of life is nearly extinguished as the firekeeper only managed to save a single ember. Despite desperate attempts at reigniting a flame, it eventually winks out, leaving the tribe with little hope for survival. With everyone on the verge of freezing to death, Naoh is given the receptacle and tasked with going forth into the land and retrieving more fire. Aghu and his boys seek the pretty lantern for themselves, but an elder restores it to our protagonist and sends him on his way. Amy and their young primordial friend Gaw accompany him while hoping to find a fire resulting from a lightning strike or something. Their first hiccup comes in the form of two lions made up to look like saber-toothed tigers who chase the terrified trio up a tree. Trapped there for at least 2 days, they eat all of the surrounding foliage and somehow even manage to get some sleep. When a snoozing Amy takes a tumble off a branch, the saber lions have luckily already gone and they can continue on their quest for fire. They see a herd of delicious-looking quadrupeds in the distance and hunger for their juicy meat, but settle for raw bird eggs instead. In their weakened states, a starving Amy and Gaw begin to quarrel when stopping upon noticing smoke in the nearby forest. Another Neanderthal tribe is leaving a campsite, but the three Ulam arrive too late to capture the fire and instead just get a bit of the remaining warmth. While rolling around in the ashes, Amy finds a nice fleshy bone to chew on but throws it away upon realizing it belonged to a human. They stalk the man-eating tribe for a while and live off the vultures. Then as night falls, they're able to get a closer look at the brutish Kazama tribe. Two early Homo sapiens have been captured by the Neanderthals and strung up from a tree in what I can only assume is the tribe's kitchen. In the morning, one of our ancestors is missing an arm while the tribe are feasting on it, so Amy and Gore run diversions to lead the savages away from the campsite. Naoh tries to steal their fire, but his attempt is noticed, so he's forced to show his crazy side to intimidate the guard. A giant Kazamite returns, striking an imposing figure, but should have used a smaller club because it gets stuck, allowing Naoh to bludgeon him to death. The smaller guy puts up the better fight by biting his opponent in the groin, so Naoh caves in the little nut biter's head before losing it. During this time, one of the painted captives releases her one-armed friend before making her escape, while Noah grabs what fire he can. To hopefully wipe out the tribe, he extinguishes their own before regrouping with his team and finally reigniting the receptacle. Since she's so far from home, the early human Ika attempts to find refuge with her Ulam saviors, but Naoh says, "Naoh, we out." The painted girl still continues to follow them, and while the others are off foraging, she wins over Naoh by making him a healing ointment. She approaches cautiously, and it isn't so much the vegetable paste that gets her accepted with the men, but more the way the completely naked woman applies it. It isn't long in their travels before the Kazama catch up, and by the time the adventurers wake up, the larger tribe is preparing to attack. The four begin acting crazy, so the tribe appears to back away, but only because of the herd of woolly mammoths approaching from behind. Seeing his chance to win over the beasts, Naoh walks up to Big Daddy with a handful of grass, and the hairy land tank accepts the offering. The rest of his group calmly make their way past the beasts, trying to not look them in the eyes, while the helpful mammoths drive the Kazama off their land. That night, while sexual tensions are high around the campfire, Naoh claims Ika for himself whether she wants him or not. Fortunately, she does so in the morning, tries to bring them to her tribe, but they don't understand her language, as our boys here only speak in grunts. While Naoh's on the verge of a breakthrough and discovering flint-napping, a stone falls on Amy's head, so Ika busts out laughing. This is a foreign concept to the Ulam, who've never laughed in their lives and usually just ooga booga at funny moments. Since Ika feels homesick and nobody here can understand her, one morning she decides to return to her tribe while the others sleep. Despite a village on the verge of starvation, Naoh gives the fire to Gaw and follows Ika's trail back to her people, as apparently he's in love. He comes across an abandoned freestanding shelter containing crude pottery, which is the caveman's introduction to technology. Nearing Ika's village, Naoh gets caught in a bog where the Ivaka people begin hurling thin spears with woomeras at this stationary target, but they're terrible shots. Ika vouches for him, but the skinny girl doesn't have high standings among her tribe as these people favor the most plump. They bonk Naoh on the head with a rock and carry him back to the village where the prisoner is put on display and humiliated because look at him. An elder steps forward and checks if this warrior has a working sex organ, as Grandpa has a cunning plan to selectively breed into the future. That night Naoh gets introduced to a high-ranking woman for some sexy time, but he doesn't understand advanced positions like missionary. He realizes what they're suggesting when she rolls over while all of the fertility doll-looking women get lined up outside for impregnation. The ones lacking heart disease like Ika are shunned, so she tries to sneak into the hut during the night but gets chased away by Queen Chunky. After some time living happily as the village impregnator, Naoh is taken to a cave where the tribe demonstrate the art of making a fire. The caveman's tiny brain is blown when witnessing two sticks rubbed together and even moved to tears as some tinder erupts into flames. Worried about their friend, Amy and Gore have come searching for Naoh but get stuck in the same bog and need to be rescued by the villagers. Their friend has gone full traitor and is among the crowd to be laughing at them, so that night Amy knocks out a drunk guard. When he refuses to leave, Amy also knocks out Naoh and drags him back home because we can't lose our best warrior no matter how good it feels. Ika follows because she's in love and because her people are completely crazy, but at least they have a security system. Without the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, her new comrades have been letting monkeys get the drop on them. Once he wakes up, Naoh helps decorate Ika with ashes from the campsite while sharing loving gazes from beneath his protruding brow. Amy drops a rock onto Gau's head and they all laugh for the first time in their lives as Ika's teachings have rubbed off on them. Speaking of rubbing off, that night she also introduces Naoh to the missionary position, so Amy makes a move on Gau, but he ain't having it. The next morning our most valuable player has a run-in with Aghu's little band of merry cavemen, so hurries back to warn the others. She's left with Gau and the flame outside of a cave while Naoh and Amy hunt their troublemaking rivals who are like 10% of the entire Ulam population. Hearing a noise from beneath them, the flamekeepers investigate the cave and find an adorable little bear cub, but Gau is suddenly attacked by the mother. Ika flees because obviously while Gau is nearly mauled to death by the grizzly, but somehow manages to pull his shredded behind out of the cave. The others must now carry their injured friend back to the tribe while Ika carries the receptacle, which is either a great honor or laborsome task. One that Aghu would like to steal for himself, or at least that's my assumption because nobody speaks in this damn movie. Unfortunately, the Agugamites have brought along their heavy spears that can barely be thrown 20 feet. Naoh places the flame in a field, then gains some distance to load up their Ivaka woomeras with some size doesn't matter spears. These cavemen's girthy logs barely leave their hands while the arrows launched by the wooden slings travel like 100 feet. Aghu and his men are turned into pincushions by a couple of Neanderthals who somehow already picked up the technique better than the humans. I guess that's why Grandpa wanted their seed, and when finally reunited with the rest of the Ulam, they're all so excited to see a flame in the receptacle. The original firekeeper takes over control but stumbles into the bog, extinguishing the flame within seconds of receiving it. I vote that we eat him, but fire is no longer some mysterious thing to be captured but a tool, since Naoh brought along the fire starter. Unfortunately, they're still just sticks in the hands of the untrained, so Ika takes over as she's the only one who can make it work. Using her ability to rub one out, Ika provides the tribe with fire that they use to celebrate with warmth for the first time in a long time. Amoukar fantasizes the story of how Gore survived the grizzly attack while Naoh's shown learning how to twist his stick in the corner. The final scene shows a pregnant Homo sapien with her caveman boyfriend, which is why you got Neanderthal DNA in you. And the movie ends.